Emilia Perez, I don't. Am I the only one who has seen this movie and is thinking like, I don't understand it? I come from Kenya. I come from Africa, and I've watched a lot of movies. I've watched a lot of African movies, and I know my way around movies. But I feel like there's something that was introduced in Hollywood or the European or the France or the French movie culture. I feel that there was something that was introduced that I kind of missed out because I do not understand 13 nomination for this kind of a movie. For context, when it won during the Golden Globes, I had a lot of people talk about it on YouTube, but I understand what it means to farm. And a lot of YouTubers actually farm. I'm not trying to farm here, but you know what it means, whereby something controversial happens and then a lot of people have to talk about it because views. I get that. And when I saw a lot of this, at first I was like, yeah, there are YouTubers doing what they do best, which is farming. And then it continued, and now we are like a week into it, and there's still so much noise around this movie. So I had to go and see it myself, and I've seen it. And yeah, the people are kind of right. This is kind of weird. This is a weird movie now. Don't get me wrong. The cinematography I loved because it's the kind of cinematography that puts you in the movie. It's a kind of, the director was consistently trying to put you in the movie or to put you next to these people. When people are moving, the camera is always moving. When they're singing, he'll use some provocative camera angles that will put you face to face with these people. And some scenes are extremely intimate in terms of just having some super close-ups during some emotional moments. So I appreciate what they were able to do with the cinematography. And the lighting. Yeah, it's a decently well-shot movie. That one, I cannot take away from it. But everything else, the actors do the best with what they have, so I cannot blame the actors because they're working with the script. They're working with words and direction that was generated by writers. And there was a director. And there's someone who came up with the story. And there are people who funded this. So that, for me, is the problem. I wouldn't blame the actors. I wouldn't blame the production team because also, okay, the other thing that I cannot take away from this movie is the costumes, because I think they did a great job with the costumes. I think the element of style and the element of appropriate outfits plays very well in the movie. That one I cannot take away from the people who worked on this movie. I cannot take away from the actors that they actually try to do a decent job. But when you look at it now as a film, as a whole, what was the writers thinking? I don't know what this is. This is a mutant. This is a mutation because it's supposed to be a musical, but it's not a musical because these guys sing like they're talking. Yes, there's that controversial thing that's going around the internet. Forget about that. There's a whole chunk of the movie that, yes, you'll have some music somewhere, but most of it is singing, talking, whereby they communicate by, it's like they're singing. And I thought that was a bit pretentious because I was like, why don't you just stop and speak like normal people? Why can't you just talk like normal people, and when you have the dance, you can do your dance, you can do your music. They can actually borrow a lot from Indian movies. I was asking, why weren't they doing that? And I was like, okay, that's what they decided to do, so I'm cool with that. Now, when it comes to the story in itself, why would you give these 13 nominations when you have in the same year a movie like Dune 2, and most importantly, The Substance, which I think does a better job with putting out there a message and actually tackling an issue without tackling an issue. I mean, no offense, I've seen better movies this year than this by far. For example, Smile 2. Smile 2 in 2024 was one of the best movies that I saw in terms of performances, but it was not nominated. I was thinking about the performances in that movie, and I was thinking about the performances in this movie in terms of just writing and direction. And I'm like, how was this movie given 13 nominations? It does not make sense. It doesn't. I'm sorry, Oscars, I don't know, maybe you guys have been compromised. Maybe you're trying to appeal to the modern audience, but That's not the way you do it. Actually, I wish the 13 nomination would have been given to a movie like The Substance, because clearly you watch The Substance and you go like, yes, this one actually deserves it because of the amount of effort that was put into creating this stylistic, gruesome movie. You know, they capture the challenges that women go through perfectly. But this other movie is just, first of all, the message within the movie, the fact that, oh my gosh, the fact that this movie is trying to say that this criminal, you know, this criminal, everything about him changed when he got, okay, basically, this is a story of a cartel leader, you know, a person who's killed a lot of people, having a sex change, coming back and trying to reclaim his family. Now as a woman, he was a he, and then he went through a transformation. He did whatever he did thanks to assistance from Zoe Saldana's character. He was able to go and totally transform himself to become a woman. And now, suddenly, we are supposed, the fact that he cut off his private parts and changed them, that's supposed to wash away the fact that this person is the leader of a cartel. And then you have an ending that actually, oh my gosh, you have an ending that praises this person, this individual that is clearly, he's a gang leader. Why is he being treated after, because something happens to that particular character? I'm not going to spoil it for you. You just go and get tortured by yourself. But they do that thing of, at the end, whatever happens, happens. This character who did a lot of terrible things, traumatizes kids. There's a certain sense of symbolism about the ending that was supposed to portray this character as this good character, which does not make sense. Okay, for me, with all the movies I've seen that have won Oscars, 2 or 3, they've been fantastic. As you watch that, I'm not talking about the messaging, just in terms of it being a film, it was a good time and it was impactful. Outside trying to do any political statements, they were actually really good movies. And I'm watching this and I'm like, this, first of all, is not a good movie. It's not an enjoyable movie. I know they're trying to be provocative. I know there's an element of shock value, but at its core, it's not a good movie. It's not an entertaining movie. It's not something that you can actually watch and feel like you've watched something good. So I'm in that place whereby I do not understand what's going on. I feel like I missed out on something. I don't understand how this gets 13 nominations and The Substance doesn't get like 7 or 10, because according to me, The Substance and Dune Part 2 are far more superior films. Just in terms of filmmaking, they're far more superior movies. So if you're out there and you understand what's going on, just let me know. Maybe I missed out something. I just don't get it. Basically, that's it. If you haven't watched the movie, it's out on Netflix. And yeah, be warned, it's weird. It's just a weird film. I wouldn't even call it a film, it's a movie, because it doesn't really capture the essence of film. So anyway, basically that's it. Remember to always watch what you enjoy and enjoy what you watch. Adios, I guess. I mean, I have to now go back and start reading articles in order for me to try to figure out what I actually missed out with this movie.